Bitterness criticism, Sunset edition. News from the sunset. Bitter news from the sunset. We just have here Cosmos news from this site Cosmos. I like Cosmos magazine. We will read everything about this site. New South Wales, I guess, because it's from Australia. New South Wales farmers trust their instincts but are open to new ideas on changing climate. I guess it's interesting. This is a magazine. This is a kind of science magazine. So I guess there's no politics here. There's no economy or politics. There's only science. But anyway, it will be a Science Saturday. Science Saturday. This is from Glenn Morrison, 26 February 2023. This was tomorrow. This was tomorrow because Australia is already tomorrow. It's already Sunday. It's fun, isn't it? New South Wales farmers trust their instinct but are open to new ideas on changing climate. While many farmers in the New South Wales Central West are still guided by their gut in the tradition of their farming parents and grandparents, there is strong recognition that change may be needed in this time of climate emergency. Farmers are acutely aware of climate change. The Timor Dam, which Supolis Conabarabram was just 23% capacity in June 2018. Then we have a very low level of water, and that says more than 2/3 of farmers in the New South Wales Central West are still following farmers' instincts, otherwise known as gut, when it comes to on-farm decisions, according to recently published survey results. But there may be some wiggle room. The survey found they are also open to new ideas about land management, including regenerative farming practices and managing climate change. Started in 2019 and published in December as Agriculture Central West New South Wales Rural Landholder Social Benchmarking Report 2022, the research aimed to use surveys in partnership with local farming organizations across multiple Australian states to provide accurate information to support improved soil and land management. We have the author, I guess, the article, I guess. Glenn Morrison. No, it's not. This is Dr. Annabeth Luke. So Dr. Annabeth Luke is quoted back in the lower part of the article. Led by soil research, Dr. Annabeth Luke of Southern Cross University The research team mailed questionnaires to a random sample of 2,500 rural property owners who had a land holding in central west New South Wales of greater than 10 hectares. It's funny because you can say 2,500 like 2,500. Tell me, YouTube. Postcodes included Blaney, Cabon, Coda, Forbes, Lackland, and Parkes. Huh? This man won 1,275 possible respondents, of which 575 completed the survey, a response rate of 31%, as well as documenting the hopes and aspirations of farmers in the district. The results also highlighted their values, beliefs, norms, and practices, as well as cataloging their main challenges. Dr. Luke said 70% of those who completed the survey responded that they wouldn't take an on-farm risk if their intuition or good feeling say no. Nearly a third of landholders indicate that their farm is doing fine and the way things are and see no reason to change, which correlates negatively with best practices implementation, Luke said. There is a report here, a report of benchmarking, landholder social benchmarking. But I will not read this, I guess. Half of the farmers were interested in learning more about regenerative farming approaches, with many highlighting the need to adapt to climate change and to take such actions as drought-proofing the farm. Other results include that 90% of respondents were open to new ideas about farming and land management. 51% agreed they had the finances to experiment with new ideas, but only 46% has sufficient time to do so. 38% consider themselves to be early adopters of change, while 28% were happy with the way things are. Taken together, the responses suggested that while farmers had an open mindset, there were financial and time constraints on adoption. There is another article called Clever Farming in Changing Times. Anyway, I just practicing my English. Farmers listed their top. I guess good is another thing. Good looks like, yeah, they follow their good. Farmer listed their top 3 issues: and water holding capacity of soils, declining soil health or soil productivity, and the absence of important services and infrastructure. They also believe that climate change will be the biggest factor for them to consider over the next decade, linking it to issues such as seasonal variability, drought, and water storage. Nearly 2/3 of respondents agree that human activities influence our changing climate, and that landholders in the region should do all they can to reduce carbon emissions, Luke explained. Well, I guess I will leave this article here. In fact, I don't care much about this. I will try to look. This is a topic called people. I this anthropology thing. I like this society, citizen science. I don't know what it is. Citizen science, behavior, culture. I prefer social science. I will crabs on Neanderthal menu is another indication the prehistoric humans were not just primitive cave dwellers. I don't care about butchery. Chimps, bonobos, and other great apes speak sign languages, but what are they saying? You might know. Now I will read this about Denisovans. Maybe I'll read this about bonobos. Look, I will read this. Ancient Denisovans' DNA found to have shaped the immune system of modern Papuans. Don't know about Denisovans. Don't know much about it. September 9, 2022, Evren Yazgi. Denisovan DNA makes up about 5% of the DNA of Papuans. Portrait of a Chukad village woman with an empty Hagen, Western Highland, Papua New Guinea. The DNA of Denisovans likely helped the evolution of modern Papuans' immune systems. Closely related to Homo neanderthalensis, Neanderthals, Denisovans were discovered in 2010 and are only known to science through their DNA and sparse remains in Siberia and Tibet. Denisovans, like Neanderthals, are mysterious ancient humans who went extinct but appear to have inbreeded with ancient modern humans, Homo sapiens. Denisovans may have lived until as recently as 30,000 years ago. This is not far, isn't it? 30,000 years ago. It's very few. It's believed that Denisovans and Neanderthals shared a common ancestor about 400,000 years ago. While Neanderthals went to Europe, the Denisovans splits eastward into Asia. The Homo erectus, I guess, it's true. Today, Denisovan DNA makes up about 5% of the DNA of Papuans, indigenous Australians, Melanesians, and other ethnic groups in Southeast Asia, such as in the Philippines. Similarly, Neanderthals contributed 1 to 4% of non-African humans' genomes, depending on the region of the world. I know that Europeans are like Neanderthals, like the Vasco people. They're short and strong. As little as 40,000 years ago, modern humans had 6 to 9% Neanderthal DNA. Australian and Papuan researchers thought to better understand the significance of Denisovan's genetic contribution to modern human population. The results are published in the journal PLOS Genetics. The scientists mapped and analyzed the genomes of 56 modern Papuans to see if they carried any bits of Denisovan or Neanderthal DNA. They then predicted how the sequences given to the Papuans by the ancient human might affect the function of different cell types. Looking at where the genes appeared to not come from ancient Homo sapiens, the team found that Papuans and Denisovans, not Neanderthals, DNA which strongly and consistently affected immune cells and their functions. Further testings of cell cultures confirmed this. Denisovan's DNA sequences influenced nearby genes, either making them more or less pronounced in ways that could affect how the human body responds to infections. The study suggests that the DNA passed down from Denisovans may have helped early humans living in the New Guinea and nearby islands by altering their immune response and helping them adapt to their environment. That's fine. I will read the bonobos news. Chimps, bonobos, and other great apes speaks sign language. But what are they saying? You might know. January 25th, 2023. Everin Jasgin, the same guy. I like monkeys. I guess dogs, and my dog is like a monkey. Humans may have retained some of knowledge of great ape hand gestures. Look, there is this bonobo giving making a ugly gesture, isn't it? Ugly sign. A funny sign. Chimpanzee making what at first appears to be an obscene gesture. In a turnaround for science, researchers in the UK have discovered that humans are quite good at interpreting the sign language used by some apes. Mostly research has been done to see if apes can understand humans. Using videos, which anyone can try, they found that chimp and bonobo sign language can be largely understood by humans, despite the fact we no longer use the hand gesture of ourselves. Great ape hand gestures were the first recorded evidence of intentional communication outside of our human language. Now, over 80 hand signals have been identified, many of which are shared across non-human apes. There are even similarities between the signs of distantly related apes such as chimpanzees and orangutans living on opposite sides of the globe. Of course, we humans are ourselves gestual creatures. As a Mediterranean boy, I know this very well. but our hand signs are, though, not to longer incorporate the ape's gestures, despite human beings more closely related to chimpanzees and bonobos. Humans and chimpanzees are thought to have a common ancestor we lived about 6 to 7 million years ago. It is possible that humans could have retained some understanding of ape hand gestures. University of St Andrews, UK, research suggests that the answer is yes. The researchers tested people on the 10 most common gestures used by chimpanzees: pan, troglodytes, and bonobos, pan paniscus. Over 5,500 viewed 20 short videos of ape gestures in an online game. They were then tasked with selecting the meaning of the gesture from 4 possible answers. The human participants did better than pure chance alone, correctly identifying the meaning more than 50% of the time. Providing context to the signs increased success marginally. Normally, such video playback experiments have been used to test language comprehension in non-human primates. In this study, the tables were returned, testing our ability to understand our closest relatives for the first time. This is very interesting. I want to know the test about Um, the human participants did better than pure chance alone. Normally, such video playback experiments have been used to test language comprehension. You can take the quiz version to experiment at this link. I will do. No data are collected from the quiz. Indeed, pets owners will tell you, even if you didn't ask, that they can understand their dog, cat, horse, or other domesticated beasts. But this understanding is inherent in inference built up over time. The results of the test of our ability to understand ape hand gestures indicates a different kind of understanding. While we no longer use these gestures, the experiment suggests we may have retained an understanding of this ancestral communication system. The authors are unsure whether our ability to understand great ape science is inherent or not. It may also be the case that humans and other great apes share an ability to interpret signals because of similar intelligence, physical appearance, and social goals. All great apes use gestures, but humans are so gestural, using gestures while we speak and sign, learning new gestures, pantomiming. That is really hard to pick out shared great apes gestures by just by observing people, says co-lead researcher Dr. Christy E. Graham. By showing participants videos of common great ape gestures instead, we found that people can understand these gestures, suggesting that they may form part of an evolutionary ancient sharing gesture vocabulary across all great ape science species, including us. I really like this news. Let's see about the look. The quiz is here. They published the quiz. Let's take this quiz. Experiment not available. The experiment is currently full. Please return to the instruction that the experiment owner has sent you. Well, it will be another time.